You can tell, man, whether you're getting good work done or not. You can just tell. And if you'll really be honest with yourself about it, it doesn't cost an exorbitant amount past that, but there's always been this like $300 ceiling where everybody wishes they could pay that, even though it's not logical, and that that Yellow Pages used to cost you, quadruple that at least in your town.
So many people like that amount that we have tried on multiple occasions to find a way to provide good service at $300 a month for our clients.
Yep.
And we've never been able to actually get our clients results at that level because we can't pay for the labor necessary to do it.
Right. And
to kind of riff on what you said about if I pay a quarter as much, it's a quarter as good. It isn't, because it doesn't mean a quarter as many leads.
Or a quarter as much work.
It means instead of page 1, it means page 20.
Right.
Which means no leads.
Hey there, guys. It's Nolan Walker and Jason, what?
Director of Operations.
Director of Operations.
Howdy.
Yeah. Anyway, no, your titles change too many times, and it confuses me every once in a while. So
I keep getting promoted.
Yeah, it literally has been a continual promotion. So my bad. Kind of runs things around here now. So excuse me for not knowing all of the titles, all your glorious
all my
titles.
Accolades.
Yeah. Okay.
I need to get like a thing of medals to wear.
You do, yeah, like a Romanov or something.
Commandant.
All right. So today the title is "The Dirty Secrets of HVAC SEO in 2020 Revealed." So
that's a mouthful.
The dirty secrets of HVAC SEO in 2020. So what are all the things and all the many ways people get messed around for their HVAC SEO? I guess I'd like to start with like just the rhetoric and the cheap stuff.
Right.
How about that?
Okay.
Good place to start. So if somebody's got this cheap website for like $99 to $299, man, you just and you heard the same stuff that you're going to get SEO. They just, that is not what happens. They can't afford to do human.
You're not paying them enough for them to pay anybody to do anything.
Right. You've paid them to have a marketing organization throw up cheap template website for you that never gets worked on.
Right.
I often refer to this as a glorified hosting fee.
Web geeks don't work minimum wage, man.
Yeah, not good ones.
Nope.
And you can't get them out of the country to do it either. Right. Not good ones. So. And you don't want most of the stuff going out of the country.
Right.
That's why we have stuff under this office. We have about 30 people now. So if you're doing these little cheapo deals and you're like, oh, what's wrong? I'll give you an example of one way to detect this, that if you're a victim of your own self that has gone out. Now, I will say this. Hey, why not try something cheap in the beginning?
Yeah.
If everybody says that
when you're new and you don't necessarily know better,
you don't know any better. It's like
you're on a budget. We get it.
It goes from like people do stuff from like $15 a month to like $5,000. So what are you supposed to do? It's like, man, I'll try something at $299. That might do the trick. It may not be the $1,200 deal I wanted, but if they do a quarter as much, it'll work. It doesn't work if they do a quarter as much.
No, it does not.
And they don't do a quarter as much. That pays literally for the sale and the retention, hopefully, of the sale when you call.
Right.
And you can
all that money goes toward the person who gets you on the phone and sweet talks you into staying with them.
It's a sales organization.
Right.
Yeah. So you can determine this if you'll just be a little bit of start to think outside of the box and remove yourself from the personal part of this and say, does my site look like other people's that are dominating search ranking? Do other HVAC contractors have one like mine? Are those the one in the top of search results? Are those the ones that I want to be like? Now, the other thing I'd like to say here is that it's fine. You don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to be like those people, and those people don't spend thousands and thousands of dollars typically. So that's a common misconception, right?
Yeah, to get the top spot, you just have to spend ruinous amounts of money.
Yeah, there's a word. That's your word for the day, man.
No, the other previous was virtuous.
Well, no, but I've never heard. What is ruinous? What is that?
Ruin like you've been ruined.
Right.
Like it's ruinous. It took everything from
Wow,
you.
that's good, man. I like that.
We have this a lot. My vocabulary constantly stymies Nolan.
There you go. Hey, man, come on with that. I don't. Are you speaking English, man? Good Lord. All right. These guys, man, I don't know. Like
He is discombobulated by biceptipedalian verbiage.
There you go. Whatever that meant. All right, but anyway, so yeah, these little sites you can tell, man, whether you're getting good work done or not. You can just tell. And if you'll really be honest with yourself about it, it doesn't cost an exorbitant amount past that. But there's always been this like $300 ceiling where everybody wishes they could pay that, even though it's not logical, and that you're that Yellow Pages used to cost you quadruple that at least in your town.
So many people like that amount that we have tried on multiple occasions to find a way to provide good service at $300 a month for our clients.
Yep.
And we've never been able to actually get our clients results at that level because we can't pay for the labor necessary to do it.
Right. And
and to kind of riff on what you said about if I pay a quarter as much, it's a quarter as good. It isn't, because it doesn't mean a quarter as many leads.
Or a quarter as much work.
It means instead of page 1, it means page 20.
Right.
Which means no leads.
Yeah. It means that you paid for that. And guys, we'll get on to something else. This isn't like self-serving stuff for pricing.
Sorry.
We have well, no, not what you're saying. Just talking about this in general to a potential client may make them think that we're really expensive or something, and we're not. We're really inexpensive. We have stuff as of today for much less than $1,000. I'm telling you, at $299, you can't get skilled labor done. It does not pay for it. You're paying for the equivalent of like bean counting work. So, and
you're paying for the billing system.
You're paying well on that one, but when you get quality work done, I use this analogy a lot because my dad's a CPA. So imagine that there's 30 people here. There's like 4 CPAs. That'd be me and Jason and a couple other dudes, And then there's like 4 accountants, and you can count them through the office. Everybody else is full charge bookkeepers, but there's no schleps in the crew, So, but the full charge bookkeepers still have to be skilled people and to get out of here, So that's what you're paying for beam counting work to get done for you that gets graded by Google to help you go up in search ranking, or just to integrate stuff properly. Okay, so let's go from both extremes, the low end and the high end.
The real screw job.
The real screw job.
At least the guy only charging you $300 a month is only charging you $300 a month.
Yeah, but you got screwed. You know why they got screwed? Because I have this conversation all the time. Like, well, Nolan, I'm only paying $300 a month. And I used to say, and I used to try to justify or explain myself. And now I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry for that. And they're like, well, and they won't say anything. I'm sorry that you're throwing away $300 entirely down the drain. The only thing that I can say for it that's good for you is at least there's a website up, and maybe they verified your Google account. You have activity.
And if you're really lucky, you own your domain name.
I was going to do another one. We might do this today about things to do if you don't have any money. Because I'll at least say this, but what you should have done instead of $300 was like, cheap as you could get.
Yeah.
$15, $50, right?
Right.
Then you have a hosting fee and the $50 extra beyond the $10 or $6 hosting fee is to pick up the phone and talk to Joe or Bob to ask a question.
Right.
But they're going to charge you if you get too much more than that. But if the site goes down or something horrible happens, you have connection to somebody.
Right. You have a helpline.
Yeah, but it's not worth the $300 is glorified hosting. You're flushing your money down the toilet beyond the fact that you just have a live website and a Google account active.
Right.
That's better than nothing, but it's a screw job on that. Now let's go for bigger screw jobs. And the biggest screw, this is the one, and I've talked about this for years, but it's so I've talked about it for about 2 years now.
Yeah.
It's so prevalent that you call up and you're looking for HVAC SEO or HVAC marketing, and you're like, hey, I'm calling up, and and here's what happened. So I'll ask people, I said, well, I know what I think you want when I'm talking to somebody on the phone. I said, would you please, tell me what you're looking for first, and I'll be happy to go over stuff. And they said, well, I just want to show up better online, man. I need leads. I don't really care how much I pay if I get leads. That's what, you know, how people say that stuff. They care. You care.
But yeah, you care.
You care. We know.
Don't say that. We hate
we don't. You got to get a good deal. You want a good deal. All right. So people want to get more, and they show up, and then they might ask some questions like, should it be SEO? Should it be mapping and reviews, which is all SEO, or should it be paid on pay-per-click for Google, or should it be Facebook? And they'll ask some questions.
Right.
So they'll call up to other people, and I'll go over it with them, and this is what somebody should do, and say, well, we believe that organic's the best return, so let's start there. We have this great deal that is this much to get design and code base and content, and your Google account worked on citations and blogging and all this stuff.
We've got all these videos where you run through that list, and
Yeah.
we're both going.
Yeah.
We're both
Integrated reviews and all that stuff, right? Because the story's been sold so many times. It's like somebody older.
We have
that you're
we
like,
have a rhythm.
Yeah, we know. We know, Dad. You went to the Grand Canyon, and yeah. Anyway, it's like Big Ben Parliament. It was a European vacation. They got stuck in the loop.
Yeah.
Big Ben Parliament. Big Ben Parliament. Anyway, so people call up and they want this stuff, and we go over it, and we do all of organic in this comprehensive integrated package, I guess you could call it, but it's not a package from it. It has everything you need, otherwise you won't show up.
Right.
Now, most people would take that and start to split it off, and I'll explain it. And this is the biggest dirty secret deal really going.
Right.
Because I used to think that the $2.99 was the dirtiest one, but that gets more people, but at least you don't spend as much, like you said. And so so somebody calls up now, and they're like, well, Bob, listen, you know, we're so fantastic. We include everything. Like, we're a full digital marketing agency. Just don't bill people the same way.
Right.
So if they want pay-per-click management from us, that's a separate item. And then the credit card goes directly with Google, and you see currently little $500 charges, but they come straight from Google, and you know exactly how much money is being spent with them, and you know exactly how much we took for management fee.
Right.
Same thing with Facebook if we do that. Same thing with any sort of spend money or paid advertising dollars that we would manage for you. We call it transparent billing processes.
Right. The ad spend, you see it go directly to the venue, Facebook, Google, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know exactly where your money's going. That's the important part.
One of the reasons I wanted to talk about this because the screw job on their secret here has gotten worse and worse.
Yeah.
So this last year, I would have said this integrated process is bad, and I'll explain it because here's what they do. They say, oh, we'll take this money and we're going to apply money to SEO and to mapping and reviews and management, and then we're going to have your pay-per-click budget. And they say, well, you know, the lowest we really need to start here is $3,500.
Right.
And so you're like,
but that covers everything.
But it covers everything, sir. I mean, we're going to be up on the top of rankings immediately. We're going to work on organic and SEO. We're going to work on to get you in the Pack 3 on mapping and reviews. It's going to be this comprehensive thing. And I've referred to it as the shell trick. And they'll say, well, no, we're only $500 for SEO. And well, we need to work on your map and citations. That's $150. And let's do some review stuff here. That's important. That's $300. Mm-hmm. And they'll start tacking. Of course, the management for our services, not only the pay-per-click, but also the management of the organic and all that. That's, you know, $7 or whatever it is.
Whatever they say.
They tick away at all this stuff, and then they have no budget left for it. Or let's say that there's $2,000 left for pay-per-click. Now, back what used to happen with this was that they'd take the $2,000 and they would chop it in half.
Right.
But
keep half and spend half.
And I thought that was really bad,
yeah.
But it's gotten worse.
Yeah.
So what they do is they chop it in half and keep half. And you're like, oh no, Nolan, I do pay them directly, but I get a report every single month.
From them, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, who's the report coming from?
Yeah.
And then I started figuring out that, and then, listen, I figured this out a long time ago because people would call. This is the early, so even before this other version, I'm going to give you 3 versions of the screw job. The earliest version of it was a lump sum went to a pay-per-click company.
Right.
Somebody'd call me, and I've had this conversation literally hundreds and hundreds of times, and they say, well, the damnedest thing happens. I call them up, Nolan, and I start complaining. I'm dying here. I'm not getting leads. Varying degrees of angry HVAC company owners.
Right.
High testosterone margin, but complaining.
Yeah.
Some people very angry. Some people, nicely angry. Like
Or sort of despairing, depending on how far down the chain.
Canadian angry. Canadian angry. Apologize as you're angry. Okay, so anyway, they're calling up saying, we're upset about this, we're not getting leads. And then they said, no, they'll work on it, and then I'll start getting leads. But I guess they just need to do more organic work. And first thing I would say, I said, sir, is there pay-per-click included with that budget? And they said, well, yeah. And I said, hey, I've already given you my prices. I said, if you don't mind, how much are you spending? And they tell me. I'm like, okay. I said, do you think it's possible that maybe when you call, they spend more of your pay-per-click budget, and then they stop spending as much of it?
And they gradually lower it down.
Yeah.
Until you call again and they bump it back.
And they're like, well, and I'm like, yeah. I said, that's what's happening. You know it, and I know it, but I'm going to let it sink in a little bit. So that was the first round of that. And the second round that came through, and that still happens all the time too, by the way.
Yeah.
And then you had a couple major companies, they started taking like 50% of it.
Yeah.
Or they'd even do a third-party bill, and they would raise the click fee, and you couldn't tell what was going on.
Yeah.
Right?
But they'd give you a report
but
showing
you'd
how
get a
many
report.
clicks, and they'd have you a per-click cost, but they were marking up the price of the click over what Google charged for.
So what do you think the chances are that if pay-per-click is given to somebody, this business, what do you think the chances are that it will be spent ethically? What do they think? Somebody watching this, like, what do you think the chances are that's going to be an ethical spend? You can slap all different sorts of.
If it's black box build and you're not getting the reports directly from Google, you have to ask yourself why.
Yeah, you should see the charges coming off your card.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the other thing that occurs. If it's black box build, nowadays, let's say you paid someone $3,500, they won't spend any of it or next to none of it. So
they'll spend, they have figured it out,
yeah,
just enough to keep you on the hook.
Well, they'll replace that, and they will replace it as they see the organic and or mapping take off.
Right.
So as your organic kicks in and other stuff that they may have done poorly, but it still starts to kick in a little bit because you're slaving for reviews and stuff, then they will begin to replace it. And you might have your name pay-per-clicked and a little bit of money, like $500 or $700, but you easily could have had like almost all of it. You could have had like thousands spent out of it, and now you're down to almost nothing.
Right.
And they continue to siphon it off. Now, you're probably missing some points in this that I'm going to try to drive into you. When somebody does this, there's a couple of reasons they do it. There's almost nobody as skilled as HVAC webmasters at doing it. There's very, very, very few people that do a good job on organic and integration and mapping, because you can have someone greatly affect your organic, greatly affect your map placements, expand the amount of times the map shows up, and greatly affect reviews.
Right.
Now, when they have to put this in, there's two reasons they do it. One, they just want more of your money. And two, and this is almost the case with every one of these I've ever seen, they can't do organic well in the first place.
Right.
So if they don't start you out by doing this combo package, you won't do well. They'll tell you, I guess I'm not going to call it, mainly it's a lie, I guess. They'll tell you these half lies that are like, if we don't do it this way, you won't get any leads starting out. You have to. And then people will call me, Jason, and be like, Nolan, you didn't give me the integrated package. You know, the one where you do the PPC as well, this other stuff, this other firm is doing. They'll make them sound bigger and better than me. So
Yeah.
like, I know I'm talking to one of the owners here. And I'm like, well, excuse me, for providing
For
great
personalized service.
right.
How dare you?
But they'll start to make it. They'll go, well, I don't know about the webmasters who we're untouchable at this point.
Yeah.
These are large private equity backed mechanisms that are there to siphon off money. It's one of the biggest money grabs in history at this point on
Right.
on messing people out of the services that they pay for because people don't know what they're supposed to do.
Right.
And then they pitch this like there's some massive firm and this is the only way to go, you know? And some people buy into it, but you shouldn't. You shouldn't buy into that. If you're gonna get paid stuff done, all that paid stuff, your card goes directly with the paid people. The management fee is separated. So there's the only way to do it.
Right.
We do the organic portion of it in here. We get the hosting account. We do your SSLs and your mobile, your code base and design. We do the content, login, and all this stuff.
And just incidentally, we will do PPC for you. We're
We're
not down on PPC. We'd love to help you with that.
Yeah.
We think it can be an effective tool to increase your leads or to hit spikes or stuff like if you've got big storms coming through. You might want to do PPC to make sure you bolster your position on the search
And we're Google
results
Ads
page.
partners.
And we're Google Ads partners. But nobody beats us on the organic side.
Nobody beats us there. And I'll tell you
And
something
mostly
else.
because they don't try. I mean, some of them, maybe they could if they wanted to, but they just don't want to because it's work.
It's difficult, Jason.
Yeah, it's difficult.
It's
I mean, that's
difficult.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Is they could have, maybe they could if they wanted to, but they don't want to because it's hard and it's really easy to go in.
So the bigger companies
the other
could if
thing.
they wanted to, but it'd be very exorbitant and difficult for them to do so.
Right.
Cut
And it
up-
would cut the profits.
Cut the profits significantly. The smaller guys don't have the resources to do it because 1 or 2 people can't do it. 4 or 5 typically can't. They also don't have proprietary software that they use that helps run the operation like we do.
Right.
And there's all sorts of things missing from it. I want to say something else. Almost all these deals tie you in. We're a month-to-month service that hopes to keep you for years and years. If you sign
Yeah, that's
up,
the other thing. We'll handle everything. $3,500 a month. Please sign this 1-year contract.
Yeah, you sign up for something like that. Why in the world? So any paid advertising effort should return almost immediately.
Right. Yeah.
So if you tried something for a month and you didn't get a return, it's not getting better next month. It's
Right.
like, it's not going to change.
SEO grows over time. Paid just gets more expensive over time.
Yes.
It actually decreases.
Yeah, SEO is something to work on and get better and better return. And then paid is something that should get a return pretty darn quickly. You don't get a return on that in a month, you turn it off. You don't have to sit there and spend all your money and waste it on stuff. These guys, you don't know, but people call me reeling from this, like hurting badly and getting messed around all the time. And then they're mad at all SEOs. They never spent time to let it really consider it at all. So do I go for these $5,000 integrated deals? Do I go for this $299 deal? Well, somewhere in the middle is a good place to be. And then you have to find a good agency to work with. We help people just out of transparency, and I was going to do one called Skin in the Game because it's a big difference. We're right now at least $99 to get started. First month not due until it goes live. Client gets to see it before it goes live, and then it's a month-to-month deal. So you're not trapped into a term agreement, and you don't have a lot of money on the table.
But we do.
But we do.
Because we do a tremendous effort to build your new website,
Yeah.
write it out, design it, and do everything we do. Not to mention the software background that we've done to
Yeah.
run it and make it, to integrate it and put everything together.
We do a lot. We have a lot more skin in the game than the business owner starting out. And it is good to be careful about what you're doing and who you do business with. Transparency is one of the biggest things there. And then the proper spend to get services that are skilled, and then to have somebody actually work on it, and to have other stuff. I could go into all our products, but you guys can. I think we've done some for HVAC on
Yeah, we have.
Righteous and all that, right?
Yeah, I think we've hit righteous on everybody.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it and there's a video or podcast on Righteous reviews, go take a look at it. Reviews is critical for your 2020 effort. You want to have reviews in there. So we have unbelievable integration for that helps affect your organic. But I don't know. Let me think if there's anything else. So the cheapos.
I would like to say one thing.
Yeah.
You mentioned it before, but whenever you bring it up, I like to make a point on it. You
Okay.
talked about running pay-per-click on your company name. That is a psychological trick that these companies do because you go in and you put your name into Google and you hit enter, and they've pay-per-clicked your name. So, boop, you're right at the top of the page, and you think, oh, they're working for me. There it is right there.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Pay-per-click, the price of a click is figured based on how many people want it. The name of your business, no offense to you, is not valuable from Google's standpoint. You're not Coca-Cola.
It costs almost nothing per click.
Yeah, you're Bob's HVAC. Your clicks are cheap. So the company running your pay-per-click is pay-per-clicking your name to give you a feel-good thing.
And
so
to up the amount of clicks in the report.
Yeah, and so that they can say, oh, you got this many clicks, because
but
a lot of those.
It was really their direct traffic.
Yeah, because anybody directly looking for your name should basically be your direct traffic. And so, yeah, that's a psychological trick. That's one of the ones that actually
It doesn't
irritates
mean
me.
that you shouldn't pay-per-click your name. It means that it's used to screw with you.
Yeah, it means you should be aware that's what's going on.
Yeah, it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It just means that they're jacking with you to up the clicks that come through. It's really direct traffic,
It's inexpensive.
And it's inexpensive. It hits all sorts of bars. There's all sorts of pay-per-click deals that they can mess you around on.
Right.
Like they could put you on the search network. They could have your ad showing up on partner sites where you accidentally click on it when you're trying to scroll down when you're looking at the weather and you didn't need to be there. There's all sorts of goofy things that they could do.
Yeah.
That's another thing when we spend dollars on pay-per-click, which we do all the time for people, by the way, we're very tight with someone's budget. We're very careful about the spend. We're very careful about how it's done. It's a tight spend budget because it needs to have a return. And since it costs so much to do pay-per-click, you got to be careful with it for the client.
Right, you want to maximize your return. So we're very careful with like the geographic spread, who sees it, what time of day, name it.
I wanted to say something else on the dirty secret thing. You know what the dirtiest secret of SEO is, or HVAC SEO in this case? It's just the fact that what you don't know is that 95% or more of anybody you'd call to do this sucks so bad that you shouldn't have ever given them your money.
Right.
Right. So that's the dirtiest secret of all, is that even then you go find a large company and it's this powerhouse of just a marketing mechanism to get you signed up.
Right.
Whether it's whether it's extreme to extreme, but there is some quality services in there, but you're in a minefield to try to find anybody. Your family member, your friend, your supplier recommended somebody, and it just goes on and on. The person down the street, the guy or girl that was out of their house that you found off of Facebook that hit you up.
Your spouse's nephew.
Yeah, the one that hit you up on Facebook that has got you going on Facebook response only, and it's going to be fantastic. And it's confusing out there, and everybody's trying to angle to do something. I had some crazy guy call me the other day, by the way, that noticed that we did, oh God, I can't even remember what he was calling for, but he found us on something. He said, hey, I saw you for HVAC SEO. I'm a marketing guy that does YouTube banners in conjunction with different businesses. It was a jacked up conversation. I should have saved it and let you listen to it. And he left this message on there. I had Googled his phone number and it said do not answer. So it's this crazy guy sitting at home and this is an example
trying to sell YouTube ads.
Trying to sell YouTube ads to business owners, and said he had 27 people that he did this for. He said, I'm big in HVAC SEO. You guys call me. I want to get set up. We're going to put an ad on a car wrap, and we're going to fuse car wraps. It's going to be the first YouTube response car wrap in history. And you guys call, and we'll get together with your clients, and we'll get interactive, responsive YouTube banners to go up. And man, I've been doing this for years. I've got 27 clients. And then after that, and on all the reviews, it said this guy is on drugs. He's crazy. Don't talk. I mean, it's not like I was going to call him back anyway.
Yeah.
I get stuff like this all the time.
I look for my YouTube channels on every passing car. I'll tell you that much.
So, yeah. He said, I'm also big in the cannabis industry.
I bet you are.
On the same exact phone call. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. So he'd call and would yell at people for being stupid. Reminds me of someone that used to work with us, by the way. Would start berating business owners for being dumb.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we had a we got great people here. Every once in a while you get a bad seed though.
Yeah.
Or people stay too long and go bad.
Yeah.
That's what happened in this case, basically. Anyway, he was calling trying to get some integrative approach done. I get the ones, you guys get the calls for getting your Google map up. You get the calls still for verifying your Google map, acting like they're Google, claiming to be, they're not Google. They call it, and then you got $99 going to one of them, social fortressing. I mean, we could go
on that crap.
There's a never-ending barrage of junk. The emails you get, your site's doing really well, but the emails come in nonstop saying we can help you optimize and do all this stuff. It's nonstop barrage of crap services that come through. This guy was a psychopath, because you could go into anything and say, Freon coolant recharge in Springfield, Texas, and and they're like, see, got it up there, and they take some really jacked up keyword. That's what all the YouTube guys do.
Yeah.
Take some jacked up keyword, and then claim that they're good because they got up in search ranking and it has no search volume.
Right.
And it's not like it's a great. If the carousel shows up, it's just okay.
Right.
For this service, unless they're in some massive market, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But anyway, there's your YouTube guys that don't know jack that call around trying to charge something. There's your Facebook guys that do this. There's your pay-per-click. The YouTube and the Facebook guys are usually weirdos from their house.
Oh, almost always.
So they're all, I'm a social butterfly, or
they took a course online
Yep.
from a certain person that we've talked about before, and they decided to run their own social media marketing.
Run social, and let me tell you something. All the social media people, they take the whole damn check.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's going on with that.
Yeah.
And they're not about to tell you. You call up and try to find out, and they won't tell you how much.
Well, it
goes up and down depending on what's going on. Lately, I did a lot of investigative work and stuff, and so I paid
Facebook's
myself.
been having some problems with the ad manager, and we're working through that, which is actually legit sometimes because Facebook.
Have you heard somebody say that before?
Platform.
Have you heard somebody say that
Oh
before?
yeah.
Anyways,
And it sounds legit because Facebook goes down so often.
Here, I'm going to answer it. Hold on, a spammer call. Hello? Oh, that's actually. Did you hear that?
I heard the thick accent from here.
Anyway,
That was someone claiming to be Google Ads,
Yeah.
trying to get us to spend more, trying to get us to up the spend on one of our clients.
yep.
We get those multiple times a
Without
day.
client consent.
Yeah, without client consent, by the way.
Anyway, when you really start going over all the stuff, it's an endless amount of stuff. The Facebook and YouTube guys are always weirdos from house, and they don't know what they're doing almost always.
Right.
The pay-per-click can go someone from their home. I know a guy that does pay-per-click management, and he's $3,000 per month now, and he lives in the Philippines, and he talks HVAC owners into that he needs them for management of their pay-per-click account. Now, I will tell you this: he's transparent.
Oh, he charges them $3,000 for management, and
Right.
plus their ad spend.
Plus their ad spend.
Good God.
Yeah, so that guy, he runs around and travels on your dime, which is absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, and then you have your national companies.
What do they think he's doing for $3,000 a month?
They talk he does such a sales spin on them that they begin to think that they need this guy to do it. So he finds them on Facebook and then gets them into Google paid ads, which would be fine, but as of the airing of this, we're $395.
Yeah.
$395, and then I think we're 15%.
Like I had to clarify, $395, not $3.
Yeah.
He had a call recently where the guy he was saying, what were you saying to the guy? $12.99.
I don't remember what it was.
And $12.99 a month. The guy says, I want to clarify, is that
It was
$1,299 or is that $12.99?
It was $9.50.
Was it $9.50?
It was $9.50.
Was it $9.50?
I don't want to add anything to that. No, and I'm like, okay, that's nice.
Nice talking to you. Click.
No, I didn't hang up on him.
Oh, you didn't? Okay.
No, I didn't. I don't hang up on people, man. Oh, unless it's
Unless
unless
it's the,
unless it's
the
a
spammer, yeah.
a spam call. I was gonna
You
let
literally just did it in front of everybody.
I'm sorry. It actually says spammer on the caller ID
did it?
now. Yeah, I mean, it said spammer. I do. I will. I was hoping to find one that was claiming like other stuff. This was a weird deal, but I was hoping they'll call and claim they can get you up in ranking or the map placement or something like that.
Right,
You know?
right.
So yeah, I mean, there's so many pitfalls and things out there. Most of the time, people find us after getting screwed around. That's most common.
Right.
Because now they want to get actually good services and they've wiped up a little bit. So you're getting screwed around several times and you're like, oh, maybe I should find someone that specializes in HVAC SEO and this would be a good way to do it. So listen, we want you to show up. Our job here is to get you up as high as many rankings as possible in organic and mapping and have reviews integrated fully. We're here to help with pay-per-click advertising. We're here to help with social media ad spend. We are a full digital marketing agency, and then we have very great transparency. So things are transparent. I like to call it Texas straightforward. We're located in Fort Worth, Texas.
And we try to earn your business every month. The reason what he's saying is true is because you can leave anytime. If we don't do it, you just go.
Yeah.
So we have a vested skin in the game, like you said. We have a vested interest in making you successful because we don't keep your business if we don't.
Yeah, I mean that's how we run it here, and it's a much better process for you. I'm out of stuff to talk about, man.
All right.
Are you out?
That's the first.
Why, man? That was unnecessary.
Don't throw softballs at me.
All right. We'll take it easy. We'll see
Take
you.
it easy.